Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of The Daily. It's Monday, December 19th, here with Greg Lawless. I'm Nick Furshaw. Greg, we're going to start with some big news surrounding Thierry Henry, a potential one-month loan to Arsenal. We're just catching word of this now. What do we make of these rumors? Is this going to happen?
Well, I think that Arsene Wenger, the manager for Arsenal, coming right out and saying, look, he's around, he's done some training for us. Of course, it's crossing my mind that maybe we could bring Thierry Henry in. Obviously, Arsenal coming off of a loss to Manchester City over the weekend. And, they're looking for some attacking talent to go up with Robin van Persie. I don't think a loan is really nothing here. I think that it would be nice for Arsenal, and I think that's something that maybe Thierry Henry would be interested in doing, but I don't think the Red Bull's necessarily interested in this. And I frankly don't think it's what he needs. He needs some rest. He needs an off-season. He can come back and be better and stronger in the 2012 season.
We certainly saw the benefits of an off-season for David Beckham coming into 2011, and we're wondering about the fate of David Beckham now. It's another weekend where we spent wondering if we were going to hear about David Beckham. We couldn't figure out if he was in France, if he wasn't in France. A lot of rumors around him. What do you make of it?
And no one seems to have been able to figure out whether he was in France or not. France Football, of course, the big magazine over there that covers the game, they said he was in Paris. Yeah. Turns out he actually wasn't. He was on his way to London from LA with his family. And I think that he's just taking more and more time. Look, it's the holiday season. Maybe he doesn't want to think about the decision. It is coming up pretty quickly, though. He's going to have to make a decision soon as to whether he stays, whether he goes. And something tells me that even in his own mind, he's back and forth every half hour or so. He's not sure what he wants to do.
Well, let's talk about a guy certainly on his way to MLS. That's Patrice Bernier, a Canadian international. The Montreal Impact have signed him to shore up their midfield a little bit. He plays on the wing. Another solid player for the Impact for 2012.
Yeah, they're continuing to bring players in. They're bringing a player home, actually. Bernier is a Quebec native. He's been playing all over Europe a little bit. Been in Denmark for the last 3 or 4 years. He was actually at Nordsjælland with Michael Parkhurst from the New England Revolution fame. Last year, in August, he signed a deal actually with Lyngby in Denmark, and it looks like now that's not going to work out throughout the rest of this contract. Headed to the Montreal Impact, where he actually began his professional career back in the day. Good player. I think this is a good, solid pickup for them on the wing. They needed a little bit more midfield talent out wide, I think, and this is a good chance for them.
Another big move that came down on Friday, we're going to talk about San Jose Earthquakes picking up Marvin Chavez, a rising star really with FC Dallas. He's been great for them each of the last 2 seasons. He goes to the Quakes. They're very excited. If you're an FC Dallas fan, you're kind of becoming discontent with some of the moves they've made lately.
Yeah, and this one in particular I think that FCD fans are disappointed with, because Chavez was sort of a fan favorite. He always did a lot of work running around. He scored some big goals for them. He was able to play anywhere on the field. We've seen him in the back, and we saw him up front. We saw him obviously on the flank a lot for them as well. Crafty, skillful player. Another good pickup, I think, for the Earthquakes, though, because they've been remaking this team. I think Marvin Chavez is a guy who's going to give them a lot of options, and is the kind of guy that Frank Yallop will like to use just to sort of put him on there and let him loose and see what he can do.
But you look at all the names that FC Dallas has lost since that 2010 MLS Cup run. You look at Atiba Harris and Dax McCarty and Jeff Cunningham, and now Marvin Chavez to San Jose, one of the biggest transactions of the end of last week. That does it for us, but we wanted to mention MLSsoccer.com's Best of 2011 begins on Monday with, Greg, the Game of the Year, a hotly contested category. For us, what was your Game of the Year?
Geez, that's a good one. I think if you're going to include the playoffs in this one, I actually loved the New York home game against the Galaxy. It was just, it was fun. It was sort of this big moment, I think, for MLS. So you had all the DPs out there on there, and the Galaxy coming in and getting a result.
Well, you can find out how our editors voted, and you can log on and vote yourself for the Game of the Year. And don't forget, the latest edition of Extra Time Radio comes out on Monday. You can find that on iTunes and Buzzsprout.